Hold on to your mug. We're in for a wild night.
Greeting, traveler.
Welcome everybody to episode 66 of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone and spotlighting members of the Wild community. I'm your host, as always, Nate Wolf. It is great to be back on another Friday evening here in sunny Portland, Oregon, and joined by two of my favorite people. Hydra, how you doing tonight?
I am doing amazing. We've got an awesome guest tonight. Also nice and sunny. It's beautiful outside, and I'm stoked. Let's do this, man.
Nice. And Electric Sheep City, formerly episode 2 as a permanent co-host of the show. Welcome back. It's great to see you again. And how you doing tonight?
Meowdy, friends. Yeah, I'm doing pretty great here in the city of Electric Sheep, Space, Texas. That is also way too bright and humid. But it's Friday, hanging out with some friends. Got an awesome friend as a guest today. I'm excited.
That's the best part of what I look forward to every week in the show is it's not so much even Hearthstone in general. It's hanging out with friends. Really is like that's what I enjoy the most. So, anyways, Sheep, if you would please do us the honors. We've got a very special guest joining us tonight, and would love if you could do a brief intro.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, we've got a great friend of mine as our guest this week. We've got Brian Mayashiro. You may know him as BrianOBryan or Bob. Brian is a Hearthstone streamer of course, many modes, including, of course, our very own Wild mode. Brian specializes in magnificent mage gameplay and is, of course, a competitive player for ATK Mode. Meowdy, Brian.
Hello.
Welcome. It's good to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's been a long time coming for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long time coming.
Hey, let me start out a little bit. I think for people who may not be familiar with you, can you give us tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is BrianOBryan? How did you get started playing Hearthstone? How long have you been playing? That sort of thing.
Very cool. Yeah, so the name BrianOBryan I came up with because I was and still am a big fan of Conan O'Brien, the comedian.
He's
Yeah.
awesome.
So that's where I kind of made my name, was kind of because I'm a fan of Conan. And then so that's how I came up with my name. And then I started playing Hearthstone about 2015, like Goblins versus Gnomes meta. Like around that time. It was like right after the Undertaker nerf.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good time to join.
Yeah, good times. Good times.
Yeah. Actually, technically, well, I really started like during GVG, but technically I started at the height of Undertaker meta. Like my first game was against Undertaker Hunter. And I stopped playing until the next expansion after that.
What is this?
And I'm going to nope out for a bit. I'll be back.
That's great. So
Yeah.
you've been playing before Wild was even a thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm familiar with like a lot of the cards.
Very cool. What was your take when the format split from stand, like, you know, it was just, you know, we joke sometimes that we were playing Hearthstone before, or we were playing Wild before Wild existed, right? So when Wild split into standard, did you experiment with both, or what was your kind of exploration there?
Oh, I definitely experimented with both. Yeah, I mean, when they had that split, it kind of made sense. I mean, in the long run, it definitely helps, because otherwise you'll have a huge power creep problem, because there's other games that don't have that sort of like format similar to standard. But in the early days of Wild, I actually played a lot of Secret Mage, and I know a lot of your viewers are probably gonna hate me or listeners, but
Or love you.
Don't worry, they all
or
secretly play it anyway.
but, but yeah, in the early days, I played a lot of Secret Mage because it was like one of my favorite decks because I used it to farm OG Quest Rogue back in the day.
Oh,
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why I like Secret Mage is because of that. So I played Secret Mage a lot, and I think I got like a top 100 finish in Wild, like
Ooh,
for like the
nice.
early seasons. But yeah, and then after that, I was just decided like just to have fun in Wild. Like I made this deck called an Even Reno Demon Hunter.
It's definitely a thing. I love it.
and
busted.
for this expansion, I have the stats to prove it, but I'm 2-0 for this whole expansion.
Hey, that's what you heard it
100%
here.
win rate.
100% win
Let's
rate. Yep.
post that on Twitter.
That's great.
So what can you tell us about ATK mode, Brian?
Yeah, so ATK mode, you can just say attack mode. That's
Okay.
that's quicker.
I usually read it, so I see the capital letters.
It's you can say attack mode.
Cool.
It sounds cooler.
Yeah.
ATK works too. So ATK stands for acceptance, time, and kindness. And what our organization values is we try to provide equal opportunity to all. You know, like the like having people who are good at something and not just like having somebody because they, have like the color of their skin or their sexual orientation or whatever. But yeah, we're really focused on like being accepting of others and like basically treating everybody as a normal human being.
I love that inclusivity.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
I never would have known that. Like I always saw that and I go attack mode, yeah, but I like I like what it stands for. That's very good. That's definitely something special. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. And I should note that for at least our Hearthstone team, because we have like an Overwatch team, a Valorant team as well,
Oh, cool.
which I don't really know much about because I don't really talk to them. But for our Hearthstone team, we actually have another GM because
Ooh.
Ego Waffle got promoted to GM. So we have Rami94 and Ego Waffle now.
Wow.
That's exciting. That's exciting, man. That's great. So you get to interact with these folks?
Yeah, because we have a team Discord and we can like talk to each other and stuff. And I've had like co-op sessions with them like every once in a while.
Nice.
Nice. When did you start being involved with ATK mode or attack mode?
About a year and a half ago, I think. Like Bemi, who's a amazing tourney organizer.
Yes.
Yeah, he reached out to me about a year and a half ago saying like, "Hey, you want to join ATK mode?" And I just said, "Hell yeah."
Didn't even have to
Nice.
think about it. That's great. That's great.
It's amazing. I really like that. So, dialing back to your origins in Hearthstone, what actually brought you into this game? Like, what made you decide to play it? Were you like a Blizzard fan? Were you a strategy card gamer? Like, what brought you here?
Actually, so my background, well, the thing that brought me to Hearthstone was mostly because my background before then was Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to compete from like 2006 to 2011. So that was like a majority of my card game like experience, like where I learned like certain like little like tricks or whatnot. So yeah, that really helped me get into Hearthstone because the transition was quite easy because a lot of the skill transfers over between card games.
Yeah. Whenever people talk about Hearthstone, especially Wild being degenerate, like, no, you should see Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it's...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I haven't... Well, I heard that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been super power creep since I stopped playing because, like, back when I played, like, games would actually go a few turns, but apparently games only go, like 1 or 2 turns now, so I heard.
Wow.
That's incredible.
But yeah, I mean, back in the day, I was like, what? Oh no, like I was in elementary, middle school, and then I qualified for nationals twice, so that was
Wow.
nice.
Congrats. That's
Yeah.
super cool.
Well,
Yeah.
what was that experience like competing in Yu-Gi-Oh like nationally?
Oh, I was unfortunately never able to go because like financial reasons,
Hmm.
That makes
but
sense.
but yeah, I like top 8/top 16 regionals like a few times. Like I won a few tournaments like locally, so yeah, I was pretty, I guess you'd say, successful like doing that as a kid too.
For sure.
That's awesome. So
What
when I
skill?
think,
Oh, sorry. Go for it, Sheep.
it's all good. I was just gonna say, whenever I think of Brian, I always think, of course, of your superlative mage play. What kind of motivates you to engage with mage as a class in particular, and to kind of main that class?
Oh, well, the person you can thank for that is APX Void, because he was the one that actually really got me into liking the class. The way he explains his plays during his stream and whatnot really got me to understand the class really well and play it well.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's good to have people to learn from. I think it's one thing to watch streams and you can enjoy the gameplay, like, hey, this person's doing really good. It's something different when you see someone kind of talk through all the moves and explain, okay, here's what I'm going to do, or here's what I'm thinking about doing, here's what I'm going to do, here's why I did it, and let's see what they respond with. And you, I think, can really learn well that way. So, yeah,
And
big shout out to APX Void.
yeah, and I'll also like to add that I think another thing is that mage is kind of similar to like the class itself, the like how it has secrets, which are kind of like trap cards. That's similar to Yu-Gi-Oh. So it kind of, I guess, kind of attracted me to it.
Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense.
I saw somebody comparing, I think, was it Refreshing Spring Water to a Yu-Gi-Oh card?
Pot of Greed.
Pot of Greed? Yeah.
What does Pot of Greed
It's
do?
I still don't know. Maybe chat could help. But yeah, it's literally Pot of Greed. Like, because
Uh,
Pot of Greed and because Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have a mana system. Instead, it has a bunch of rule restrictions, which can get really complicated.
Oh,
So Pot of Greed is
it's
literally like 0 mana draw 2.
it's 0 mana draw 2. I'm looking at it right
Yeah.
now. That's hilarious. I'll put it on the screen if you guys want to see it. That's really funny.
Yeah, and that card is banned, by the way, in the competitive format.
oh wow.
Yeah, that sounds a little broken.
Yeah.
Oh man.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's just says draw 2 cards. That's so funny.
Yeah. It just shows you how broken card draw can be if it's cheap.
Well, and speaking of Mage and Yu-Gi-Oh, I think the other thing that we really gained from Yu-Gi-Oh was the idea of Exodia, right? Exodia Mage,
Oh yeah.
where you assemble, the body and the arms and the legs or whatever to. I mean, I don't know the story very well, but like, I have heard like the Exodia obliterate, but it's your OTK, right? Or you could probably explain it better.
Have you seen the meme though? The meme of like, I have all 5 pieces of Exodia. Have you seen that one?
I
A
haven't
little
seen
bit,
that
but
one.
could you explain it?
Okay, so basically, Exodia is a 5-card combo that you need to have all 5 cards in your hand, and you automatically win. That's basically it.
Just like that.
Yeah, but the problem is you have to draw all 5, and that's the hard part.
hey, but if you got 0 mana draw 2, that helps.
Yeah.
How many?
But yeah,
like,
you can only run
Sorry.
one, by the way, run one of each piece of Exodia too. So it's because the decks in Yu-Gi-Oh are 40 cards plus. So it's not likely you would draw all 5 in in your first hand.
Yeah, I wonder how quickly you could pull it all off. I mean,
You can do it in one turn. Like, there's been points where you can do it in one turn. I mean, I wasn't around when that was a thing, but it was possible to do it in one turn, like a first turn kill.
wow.
Tutor them somehow.
Yeah, like first turn, draw your whole deck and you win.
Well, yeah, I can see that if there's no mana restrictions, right? That you just play the cards.
Yep.
Okay. I've seen the memes, but without knowing the story behind it, it's tricky to like piece it together. But
Yeah.
I love the idea of this. Like, okay, I've got the right arm, the left arm, the right leg, the left leg, and then Exodia, the forbidden one. Assemble all 5 pieces, and you just straight up win. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, the when you call something like an Exodia deck, it basically has a win condition where you like deal infinite damage or like automatically win. So like for Paladin, there's like the Death Knight, the Uther.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be called an Exodia combo because once you get the 4 horsemen, you automatically win.
Right. I like
I
it.
would love if that was like actually really meta viable. I would love to play that. I loved that when it was standard. I played a lot of that deck.
Yeah, same. I really liked that Death Knight.
The very first time I hit Legend, it was with an Uther / Shirvala OTK deck.
Nice. It's
That's
one of
amazing.
those that where like it feels really good to pull off the combo, and it just but when someone does it to you, it feels really bad, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's still not as bad as losing to OTKDH, where you just die to like 72, I don't know, million damage.
Yeah, that gets out of hand really quick.
Yep.
I was watching GMs over the last couple weeks, and I mean, of course, I'm not very invested in Standard. I've been playing a lot of like Death Rattle Demon Hunter in Standard, but I saw the bulk of the GMs were bringing like OTK, Lifesteal, Il'gynoth, Demon Hunter. I was like, wow, this deck is hard to play. At least for me, it was hard to. There's a lot of calculation with the math there, and a lot of decisions to be made as to like, do I use this spell to clear the board and stay alive, or do I save it and use it to OTK? So it's one of those where like it feels bad to lose to, but I don't think it. I don't know. At least in my mind, it wasn't like some auto win.
Yeah.
Well, I played a few games of High Legend earlier like this week, and it feels really bad to play against a really good OTKDH player because they manage their resources so well, and it's really hard to win before they OTK you.
Yeah, it's one of those high skill cap decks, but once they've acquired the skill, it's powerful.
Yeah, I'll have to try it out because I'm still trying to. I'm about 450, I think, a little bit less than 450 now with Demon Hunter. The 500 is like the halfway point. I'm really wanting that 1K Illidan, so it's like
So sick.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, it's awesome.
Anyways,
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We're not here to talk about Standard. We can.
So speaking of Wild, what got you to start playing Wild in particular? I know that you were around before Wild was Wild, but what kind of attracts you to the mode, kind of more than just the general fun to play?
I just miss my my favorite mage cards, you know, like Reno Mage, like that's my favorite deck of all time, like that archetype. Yeah, just because mage has so many like unique effects like over the years, and it's accumulated to like some really powerful combos now in Wild. But like there's some like really old like decks, because earlier this week I actually was playing my exact standard Reno Mage from like 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I won like at least one game with it, which is kind of funny. But yeah, an exact standard Reno Mage, no OG Reno, just like Relicologist only, and like the 10 mana Reno, and I was able to win a game in Wild, which is an accomplishment.
That's awesome.
Things get degenerate pretty quickly over here. I'll say that.
Now, here's the question: did you accidentally queue the deck?
No, I did on purpose because I was bored.
It's very intentional.
It's so funny though when you're playing somebody that you can tell accidentally like played their standard deck in Wild, and they're like, oops.
You know what's super tilting is when somebody queues up their standard deck in Wild and then you lose. And you're like, I lost to the standard deck. Like, what happened? That's not supposed to work that way.
Yeah.
I versed a spell mage recently that had no wild cards in it. It was all standard cards. So they definitely clicked on the wrong mode.
I've done
especially
that before.
Yeah, I've definitely done it.
Oh, yeah.
One thing that bugs me about the client is, and maybe this is a me problem, but when you are like building a deck, right? And you're like, I'm going to put this in, I'm going to put that in, and blah, blah, blah. Now I'm going to queue it up and play it. But as soon as you like back out and then you hit play, you actually have to select it. It's still it's auto selected on the last deck that you played. So like you've refined this deck, you're going to play this deck, and you're still selected on some other random garbage that isn't what you were just editing.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I always take it slightly personally too. It's like, are you sure you want to play Wild? Like, yes, I want to play Wild.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you sure you want to craft this card? It's only in Wild decks. Yes, I want to craft it.
You know, the thing I hate is when you're about to queue and then you click a deck that's in the wrong format. Is like, oh, do you want to convert this deck? I'm like, no, I'd never want to convert this deck to the other format. Like, that's for the other format. Like, of course, like who would want to convert it?
It has 50% wild cards in it. This is gonna be really bad to convert it.
They actually did a pretty good job of like delineating classic from the other two. It's just kind of weird that there's not as obvious a border. You know, like you were saying, Brian, you can click on a wild deck and it'll be like, do you want to convert it?
Yeah.
You don't have that option with classic. Like if you try to click classic, it's like, no.
I don't know if they fixed this, but because I play with the sound on. So one of the things I've noticed is that because there's a little a thud when you click on something for standard wild and whatnot. But for classic, there's no thud when you click on the deck list. It's just very strange.
Oh no.
Huh.
That sounds like a bug.
Interesting.
It does.
Yeah.
Maybe there didn't used to be a thud. And they're just like
back in 2014.
Classic experience.
Yeah, the full classic experience. There was no thud.
Oh gosh, that's really funny. Jeez.
And finally, to end our interview aspect with you, obviously you'll be here for the rest of the show as well, but to end the interview part, I must ask Brian, where's the lamb sauce?
I don't know. Can't find it. Maybe you gotta ask Gordon Ramsay. It's missing in action. Can't find.
There's an inside joke here somewhere that
There's gotta be.
I feel like the Superman meme, and it's the joke is right here, and I'm.
So, Gordon Ramsay, the celebrity chef.
Oh yes, the idiot sandwich. Oh yes, I know all about Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah. So it's a thing for him that he's constantly looking for the lamb sauce, and Brian is also.
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
Desperately searching for the lamb sauce.
Beauty. I'm sorry I had to ask and ruin the inside joke.
But also, Brian needs to find it so he can take a nap.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't nap until I find it.
Will you ever find the lamb sauce? One day.
I'm a glass half full type of person, so yeah, one day.
I mean, lamb sauce is just polymorph, right?
No, that's lamb.
Polyjuice?
Potion of polymorph. The lamb sauce is potion of polymorph.
Hey,
which is a secret, which is why it's so hard to find.
Hey, this is Mage week, right?
Oh, we've got it.
We've cracked the code here. All right.
All right, let's move into our weekly recap, see how we're all doing. And let's start with you, Nate. What have you been up to? What have you been doing in the real world, the world of Hearthstone? What's going on, man?
Yeah, man, it's been a long week. I'm happy it's the weekend. I feel like I say this every week. Work has been super busy, and I think things just continue to ramp up. There was a press conference today at 11 o'clock. The governor announced that effective this coming Wednesday, will be like no more mask requirements and no more distancing and no more, like, oh my goodness, okay. So that sort of changes the local world over here, and so that'll be interesting. As we continue to see things kind of open up a little bit. My personal life, I've been playing a lot of Mass Effect, as I've been talking about on the show, but I'm like at the tail end of number 3 now, and like it's really stressful, but it's really good. The story's so good, and I love that they integrated all the DLC like just into the game. And one thing that I've been doing is, like, I won't say cheating, but there's all the, it's very open world, and there's all these different missions that you can do in pretty much any order you want. And so what I did is I looked up what is the best order to play them in. And so I think it was IGN or somebody had a guide, and really all it was is play them in this order in order to, because some of them are like timed and they don't tell you that. Like if you don't do it early enough, like you'll just miss out on it. And then the other thing that the guide said, because you've got all these different squad members, it goes, hey, bring these 2 people with you because they have unique voice lines, or they interact with each other in a unique way that you wouldn't know if you didn't bring them. And so no spoilers at all, but it's do these things in this order and bring these people to get the most out of your experience. And that's been great for me. I really enjoy it. It's I don't know. It was weird. They're like, I've had a lot of pressure at work, and then I'm playing this, and I've got now this pressure to like save the galaxy, and so it was like I'm feeling a little stressed, but it's been cool. In terms of Hearthstone, I have not played a ton of ladder, but I spent the week doing the solo content. I had been neglecting the shaman one, so I played the Thrall Book of Heroes. And that was really fun. And then I played the Malfurion Book of Heroes, and that was really fun. I enjoyed them. We'll talk about the Malfurion one a little bit later. But yeah, it's I think the other thing here, like I live near Portland, Oregon, where it rains like 3/4 of the year, like, or maybe half the year, but like a lot, right? And we get all 4 seasons, which is cool. As a native Californian, like I love getting the seasons. The one thing I don't love so much is the summertime because it's just so stinking hot. I'm lucky because we've got an air conditioner in our house, but a lot of the people around here just don't, like, because it rains most of the year. It's cold. And so summer is like miserable, but we're in this heat wave right now. And so looking at the weekend, my wife texted me earlier today, and the next 3 days are supposed to be 106, 114, and 112, which is Fahrenheit for my non-US friends. I'm not quite sure what Hydra can tell you what the I think you're just a few hours north of me, so I imagine you're probably relatively similar. But yeah, it's been kind of hot. My folks are coming out to visit next week, so that'll be kind of fun to see family and catch up because it's been a while. So the humidity, not so much actually, which is surprising. It's
so jealous.
I mean, some, but not nearly as bad. So yeah, no, I mean, all in all, it's been good. I'm happy to be here hanging out with you guys. I played some Secret Mage. I have been neglecting my rank, and it's starting to slip back up in the 600s now, and I'll hopefully play some over the weekend and like to cruise back down a little bit. I did watch a movie over the past week called Super Deep on Shudder. I really liked it. It was kind of cheesy, but it was fun. Where the premise is like there's this like giant hole that goes down into the ground in Russia, and there's like monsters at the bottom. But I had a good time.
I've heard really good things about Super Deep.
Super Deep.
I really liked it actually. I thought it was fun. Also, we've managed to play musical chairs on the screen here.
That's okay. So, I like being sheep.
I like being Brian. This is fun.
Hey, that's cool. So anyways, yeah, that's me. I'll link you guys the movie later. It was fun. The reviews were not super good, but I thought it was quite, I enjoyed it quite a bit actually. So, whatever. Sheep, what have you been up to this week?
Well, I have also been suffering from a heat wave. That's been really fun as well. I don't know our specific temperatures. It's in the high 90s. We actually haven't broke 100 yet, as far as I'm aware. I could just be not aware, but I live really really close to Houston, so it is super humid. And gosh, I envy the people who have the dry heat very much. But other than that, I've really had a blast sailing the high seas this week.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves dropped this amazing, huge content drop with like so much Pirates of the Caribbean interaction, and oh my gosh, it is so much fun. I've done 2 of the tall tales for that one. That's what they call their single player content for that. And the second one was really buggy. It's supposed to only take like about an hour, and it took about like 3 or 4 because bugs kept on pushing us back. So it's kind of interesting because they kept it really really secret because of the like exclusivity or NDA type stuff that they had going on with Disney to actually use the Pirates of the Caribbean IP. So they didn't have as much testing, and since they didn't have as much testing, the release is buggier. So it's like, it's really cool that there's all this new content that's really awesome, and the story is great. I just wish that they had let people kind of work the bugs out a little bit more, but it's fun.
You sound like a Hearthstone player.
Being fun. I know, right? So, of a similar vein, I've been playing a lot of Pirate Warrior lately to kind of continue with that pirate theme.
Nice.
It's always fun to.
Are you using the pirate card back?
Oh, I haven't been. I've been using the secret level, the Diablo card back.
It's an amazing card back.
It really is. I love that card back. But I should use the Pirates card back.
I mean, it sort of gives away what you're doing, but whatever. Who cares?
Right? Gotta commit.
They already know turn 1 anyway.
Right.
Got to commit to the bit. Absolutely.
I wonder though, like we've talked about it before, but I wonder a little bit if it makes people mulligan differently. Like if they see Warrior and they see the pirate card back, do they mulligan differently? Maybe not.
Maybe.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and
here's
I
the
always
question. Tell me, what hero do you use?
Yeah, I always main Corrupt Garrosh as well.
Oh, you're doing it right then.
Yeah, like I'm not sure if people automatically assume that Corrupt Garrosh is pirates, or if they're like, oh, Corrupt Garrosh is Dead Man's Hand.
Dead Man's Hand, yeah.
Right?
That's got to be the good Dead Man's Hand one. It's got to be.
It is a mystery. So outside of that, I've also been doing a lot with THL this past week. I played my Legacy THL match last night, and I lost 2-3, but one of my teammates played later on that evening and won 3-2, which of course means that we now are going on to the finals. So that's huge. I'm really excited.
Hey.
Nice.
Congrats. Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I with this loss, I'm now 7-3 on the season. So I'm despite a loss in the semifinals, I'm having a kickin' rad season.
That's
So,
great.
Excitement abounds. Playing some wild THL this weekend. That also is gonna be a blast. So that's basically been my week. It's been a busy one, but a really fun one.
Nice.
How about
Hey, that's
your
good.
week, Brian? How about your week, Brian?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I've been just trying to fix my standard rank, because I'm gonna try to go for a top 16 next month.
Nice,
But
nice.
in Wilds, I've been having a lot of fun with Reno Mage, because APX has been playing a lot of Wild too, and I took his list and just went with it, and it's been really fun. And I
Nice.
also tried a little bit. Yeah, I also tried a little bit of Mozaki Mage for the first time, and it felt stronger than I thought it would be,
Hmm.
to put it lightly.
A little dirtier than you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Did you ever play any of the Flame Waker like APM Mage?
Maybe like once, like way back, but not recently.
Okay. Yeah, the Encanto's Flow and Refreshing Spring Water like made it amazing.
Oh yeah, I did
it
not.
was
I
like pure degenerate. Yeah.
yeah, I think yeah, I didn't play that deck. I just because I was at the time I was like trying to farm priest wins with Rasa Priest because I was close to the 1K portrait, which I did get like this past Sunday.
Nice.
Nice. That's cool.
Congrats.
Or
That's
should we
great.
say, wow.
Wow.
Wow. Really? Wow.
That's the best one. I love that one.
Yeah, that emote is like the most BM like out of all of them.
What nickname did we come up for that? For that skin?
Oh god.
It was so funny.
You're talking about the SI7 Anduin?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, there was some names.
Stabduin was one.
Stabbed one was my favorite.
Stabduin. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I think that's probably just that wins right there. Stabduin. It's great. Anything else going on in your week there, BrianO'Bryan?
That's about it.
Yeah.
Just been focusing on standard mostly because I've been really like one of my 2021 goals has been to qualify for Masters Tour because I haven't really tried to go for it yet. So I want to make it happen.
What do you need to do to qualify?
You either have to top 8 in their qualifiers 4 times or finish top 16 on ladder.
Or win a qualifier outright.
Yeah, win the qualifier.
Oh yeah,
okay.
win one outright too.
I'll get right on it.
I do appreciate that they added the consistent top 8 because that wasn't a thing at first, and there were so many people that were consistently top 8ing.
Yeah.
So it's nice that was added.
What? So how do you get the Golden Celebration card back?
Nate's on a mission.
Oh yeah, to fill out the missing card back collection. I'll just quit my job and play Hearthstone full time. It's cool. I'm smart. I mean, I might be homeless pretty soon, but
But I'll have the card back.
I'll be playing on mobile, like sitting outside the Starbucks using their internet. It'll be
It was
great.
worth it, honey. It was worth it.
Oh, jeez.
That's hilarious. Well, for myself, it is it just like you guys. It's been pretty darn hot. I know I'm up in Igloo Land, but it's not actually like that. It's actually pretty hot. This weekend we're set to be around 40 degrees Celsius, which to you guys,
that's really hot.
yes, it is.
So-
So that's over 100.
I was gonna say, I mean, you're like where I'm at, just north, about 3-4 hours, maybe.
yeah, I think
so
we're like 3.5 hours apart.
So I imagine the heat is probably relatively similar-ish.
Yeah, the last few days it's been brutal, and where I work, we have the whole machine shop area, and then we have the office area, and I now sort of have the freedom to sort of flow between both of them. I used to always be out in the shop, and so today, last few days, I've had things I could do out in the shop, but like I'm out there and I'm doing stuff. I'm like, I got some paperwork. I'm going back in the air conditioning. I'm going back in the office.
Tactical retreat.
Just because I can. Like, it's because it's brutal. So it's a big, huge brick building with a metal roof. And with it being almost 100 degrees today and over 100 coming up, it's just like a giant oven.
Ugh.
And you have to remember at the same time, we're also running machines and we're welding, and it's just we're creating all this heat inside the building as well. And it's just it's not fun. We actually had many people today, halfway through the day, say, "See ya, too hot, we're going home," which totally okay with. Also, we did have Employee Appreciation Day at work today, so we all got free pizza, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
I would have rather a Slurpee, maybe.
That
Or
reminds
you guys
me.
call it slushies? Do you call it? What do you call it
Either.
in the States?
Either or for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I think one of them is like a trademark of one of the convenience store chains or something.
7-Eleven is Slurpee.
Correct.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys have Screamers?
I don't know what that is.
A Screamer is a Slurpee that is like spiraled up with vanilla ice cream inside it.
Oh.
Whoa.
No?
We do what we've got.
Yeah,
out
so you get like a Coca-Cola Slurpee with spiral vanilla. So it comes out
Oh, dude.
of like 2 taps and like swirls around like the whole way up.
That sounds amazing.
I'll be there tomorrow. Wow, that sounds pretty good. We do have a place locally that's like Hawaiian shave ice, which is really good. I mean, I'm sure it's nothing like Brian. You probably have much better, but we've got. It's kind of they do some kind of ice creamy type thing, and then the shave ice on top, and it's really good. Right down the street.
Yeah, we
Like,
have
I'm gonna-
some.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I said we have some pretty good shave ice places here that we're known for.
Yeah.
I bet. So
Also
other than
dice
like
Lion.
work just being an oven, when I've been home, home is not quite an oven because I have a couple air conditioners, so we're not dying over here. It's fine. We're alive. But I've been playing a lot of I couldn't help myself. I purchased Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC. I'd previously played it on PlayStation 4 in the past.
I heard it was really good.
It's an amazing game. Like I love the story of that game so much that like, as soon as it was over, I played the first one like all over again, and then when I was done that, I played the second one again.
Wow.
Like the story is just so good. The online mode for the game is kind of like garbage or whatever, but like the story, I have not played a game that had like a story that was that good. It's my all-time favorite.
Really?
And-
Okay.
Oh yeah, all-time favorite for story. Like
I-
my wife actually sat beside me and watched me play the games. She was glued to the screen.
Really?
While I played the games. Yes.
I may have to buy this. But will you consider Mass Effect when you're done?
I know. Yes, I will consider Mass Effect. I've already played the second one, but I've forgotten so much about it that it would be a whole new experience.
Oh, dude. I will check it out. Do you recommend it for the PlayStation or for the computer? Does it really make a big difference?
The only thing I will say is if you do buy it on computer, that to still use the controller.
Oh, yeah. I've got an Xbox controller that I plug in for
Because
games because
I tried to do keyboard and mouse, but to me it seems like the game was designed to be played with the controller. It just
that makes sense.
yeah, it like I played for the first like 2 hours with the keyboard and mouse, and I wasn't having it. I was smashing my horse into trees. Like there's like a gallop thing you kind of got to do. So I'm hitting shift to like gallop, and you got to like hit the button.
oh,
Like
gosh.
while you're trying to steer. It was garbage. No, I was
yeah.
yeah.
That's where
So
I need the soundboard. I need Dame Hazelbark. No, we can't do that.
No, we can't do that.
but no, it's one of my all-time favorites, and I'm playing through again, and I'm taking my time. I'm gonna do a completionist round sort of thing, and yeah, Like I said, it's a game that the story's so good that like my wife was watching. There's times where she's excited. There's times where she was crying. Like, it's good.
Okay.
It's good. I almost cried, man. It's that good.
I almost. I sort of like welled up the other day because one of my, like you this Mass Effect, there's like 3 games and the story carries over, your characters carry over, the decisions that you make in 1 and 2 carry into 3, and like sometimes people live, sometimes people die based on the decisions that you made, and sometimes it's story based. But I had like one of my favorite characters, and I was like, it's like I don't want to spoil it, but like, geez, we get so invested.
Yeah, don't tell me anything in case I take a dive.
Oh yeah, a deep dive.
Yeah. As for Hearthstone, I basically this past week I've been keeping up with all of like I'm sort of stuck, man. Like having the daily quests and the weekly quests to clear on 3 servers can be kind of annoying. It's actually sort of getting to the point where it's becoming a chore to do it on the other servers because you get quests like, oh, you got to top 4 battlegrounds and win 5 Tavern Brawl battlegrounds games. Like, okay, now I got to play 5 battlegrounds games on Asia or whatever, right? And so
that's a time investment right there. Yeah,
I've been sort of considering. I mean, if you can mulligan your quests, right? Like drop them, and hopefully you get something like deal. What is it? 200 damage, or get spend 500 mana. Like those ones are easy. Those ones are super easy to do. But when you get stuck, like winning 5 duels, brawls, or battlegrounds, those ones can be pretty lame. When I mean, you're trying to do it on all 3 servers. It's a bit of a drag, but like I still do it. But I'm starting to question why I keep doing it. I do love the fact that I'm building a collection on the other servers, and I like options when I'm there. Like I don't want to, just be stuck with 2 decks. And I've gotten to the point where I have meta decks on them all, which is really neat. But it's becoming a bit of a chore. Like I get home from work, and like I said, I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2. And so this past Monday, we got all the new weekly quests to do. And you got your daily quest, and it's like, I want to play Red Dead. It's like, well, let me go clear 9 quests first. Right? Like,
yeah.
I get...
Yeah, for me, I've just given up.
Yeah.
I just decided to just focus on my NA account because it's just too much.
Yeah, it's got to be difficult to do the multiple servers all the time, and I don't know. Hearthstone is great when like I push super hard at the beginning of the month, like cool, let's get Legend, and then once I get there, I like kind of what should I do now? And I tend to like I'll play. I mean, I definitely want to do my daily quests, and I'm trying to grind out those 1K portraits. But then I find myself playing like, oh, well, Diablo's coming out pretty soon. I'll play some Diablo 3. And, I find myself doing that, and like, I feel like I'm cheating on Hearthstone a little bit sometimes. But
you should be able to.
But it's
like,
healthy, I'm always like in awe of the folks that just play Hearthstone all the time, and that's their only game. And it's like, how do you not burn out? I mean, I enjoy the game, and I want to keep enjoying it, which is, I think, why sometimes I will take a little step back. It's like, well, let me, absence makes the heart grow fonder and all that.
I think for me, one of the reasons, so on EU, I'm about 3.5 years deep of doing my daily quests on EU now. And I feel like I can't stop.
Whoa.
And Asia, I'm about 2 years, I would say, of doing them like every day.
Wow.
And
Damn.
so, and then I make sure that I do them on all 3 and like and then if I miss one, I feel like this weird guilt, like, oh my gosh, there was 1,000 XP points or whatever it is on the track that I missed. And it's like, oh no, why did I do that? But like, you really shouldn't. like it'll make me feel bad that I missed it.
Yeah.
Or like before bed, I'll be like, oh crap, let me go check. Oh, I got to clear daily because tomorrow I'm going to get a new one. I'm going to miss it. And I think I need to maybe sort of get out of that mindset that I need to always do it. Because it doesn't really matter, right? It's just something that I've sort of got in the habit of doing.
True. And if you really want to kind of prioritize still clearing them, maybe like having some sort of like a staggered schedule where you clear all 3 and then like in APAC and then EU.
Yeah,
and just
like,
let them accumulate again. And
you would think that doing a schedule is a really good idea, but I'm not going to plan it. There's no
that's
way.
fair.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
fair.
like I just like I happen to like I'll come home and check, see what's up. Like, oh, I've got 2 over here. I can save that. Like, oh, I only have 2 out of 3 on EU, so tomorrow I'll do it, right?
Yeah.
Because tomorrow I'll have 3, then I can clear them all. Then, like, sort of thing like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna think on this one because it's becoming a bit of a chore to do it all. And I was also thinking that, like, I spend all this time ranking up on all 3 as well, and if I just dedicated my time to one server, then maybe I would just do better on one server,
Yeah.
right? Because that's also a bit of a chore too. But I get stuck too, going, "Oh, I can't lose my star bonus."
Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's so stupid because I fear it. Like, because I just do, like, I guarantee that I at least get like D5. Sometimes I slouch on Asia to D10.
Dude, losing
Like,
the star
across-
bonus is painful. I'll tell you.
Yeah, so like I don't want it to drop. Like, if I go below 9 stars, I'm like, oh, what have I done? Now I've got to earn it back. So yeah, I don't know. I got some thinking to do.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
basically, that's been my week. It's been a week of thinking of what I should do.
Introspection.
Exactly. Well, let's move on to the listener series because things are ramping up. They're coming to a close. What is going on? Sheep, let us know.
Well, we are in the finals, Hydra. The
What?
finals.
How'd that
Oh,
happen
the-
already?
Like sands through the hourglass. So the days of our lives.
Hey, it's exciting. Yes. I insert Captain America. I understood that reference. Yeah, dude. So after the show tonight, we've got our final match that we'll be streaming too. So that's exciting. Oh, this is super exciting. Really.
Yeah.
It's been a wild ride. I will say that.
Absolutely. So in the finals, of course, we've got Maxibon versus Corbett. In the final match. In the final, well, 3 to 5 games, depending.
Yeah.
So Maxi and Corbett both take a small step back.
Both
The challenge of
Australian.
the week. Yes, also true.
Australia OP.
OP can confirm. I mean, they are all of the representatives in the finals. Check it.
Right.
So the challenge for the final week is called a Tribe United. So what that basically means is you pick one tribe to go for, and all of the minions in all of your decks have to be that tribe. So, for example, this is what both Maxi and Corbett decided to do. They went with Beast. So every single minion that they played in all of their 4 decks have to be Beasts. And they have to have a minimum of 10 minions in each deck. So every minion in the deck must have that same Beast tag on it. Of course, they can possibly play things to generate other minions. But if they're running a minion in their deck, it's got to be a beast.
I love the idea of this. When we were talking about it, it was, we were bouncing back and forth ideas, and it was like, okay, let's do tribes. And it was like, okay, we had talked about one tribe for each deck, and then it was like, well, we wanted to make it open-ended, but I think that the difficulty here is not the tribe per se, it's that you have to use the same tribe in all four. And so like Beast could be really powerful in Hunter, but like you're going to play Beast Priest, like, okay. Or like Murloc could be really powerful in Shaman, but you're going to play Murloc Mage, like, I mean, or you could.
I played Murloc Mage.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We were talking about it a little bit. I got steamrolled by it before, but so I
really,
think,
I wouldn't be. I probably don't remember, but yeah, I did play Murloc Mage and Mech Mage.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Mech Mage,
I miss me some Mech Mage. I love that deck.
oh yeah.
so good.
So it'll be exciting to see what these guys come up with. We were bouncing around an idea. I believe this was Jordan's idea, right? The ban one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll talk about it super briefly. Here's the idea that we ended up not going with. We love it and we'll probably use it some other time, but we ran into kind of a time crunch. But here is the idea. Each player picks 10 cards to ban for their opponent, or whatever set number of cards, and like just straight up ban these cards for the opponent. And they would have to provide the list, and then you could build whatever deck you want, but you can't use these, 10 cards, 15 cards, or whatever it is. And like they wouldn't know, they would submit the bans to us, and then we would share with the other person at the designated time. But like that really is a little more time sensitive, I think, or you require a little bit more time to deck build around that. But God, I love that idea. That was from Jordan. Jordan from the People's Champ podcast, and he's playing in our listener series as well. And so big shout out to Jordan. That was a really fun idea, and I imagine that we will use it again at some point. But anyways, yeah.
Also, his videos he's made during the series have been hilarious as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. would recommend.
They're comedy gold.
Yes.
As well as having really good play in them too, but also hilarious. Yeah. So in the finals, like I said, now that we've kind of identified our challenges, Corbett and Maxi, like I said, both went with Beast. They both brought Druid, Hunter. You joked. Priest, Beast Priest, and Warrior.
They brought the 4 same classes.
Yes, they all brought the 4 same classes.
Oh, dude. Their decks are remarkably similar, which just shows you how big brain they are. It's quite wonderful, actually.
Wow.
And one of them, I think it was Maxi, went with no, it was Corbett. Went with an odd druid as well, because Baku the Moon Eater themselves is a beast.
Yes.
Interesting.
And you got that support. You got the that support card at 5-drop too, for odd cards.
You do.
You very much do. So Maxi did not go odd. But I think that was like the biggest kind of difference. In Corbett's Warrior too, he runs Dr. Boom Mad Genius, which Maxi doesn't. So that may be like a value generator.
It could, yeah.
That we'll see kind of a relevant here. Gosh, in just an hour or two, like shortly.
That's not against the rules, right? To run cards that generate like other tribes or whatnot.
No, that's
Okay.
fine.
That is A-okay. Yeah, as long as the actual minions that they're running are all beasts, then you're good.
That's a good question, though. We had some of that stuff come up because, we have had to ban cards from time to time, or we'd have things that if it generates too much stuff, like maybe we don't want that. I don't know. It's been interesting. Getting to make custom rules for people to play with is pretty fun. It's like a tavern brawl every week, you know?
It is. I'm only surprised we didn't ban River Croc, and I think that they just must have assumed that we did because they didn't run it. It's the most OP card.
I'm surprised you didn't ban Silverback Patriarch. That's the one card you gotta.
We actually also have our bans in as well. So Corbett banned Maxie's Druid.
Okay.
And Maxie banned Corbett's Priest.
Ooh.
Oh, no Beast Priest.
Not for Corbett, but
Not for
Maxie
Corbett.
can run his Beast Priest.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, for those people who are watching live, I would encourage you to stick around after the show so you can watch these folks duke it out. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, we will record it and post it on our YouTube channel over the weekend. And so we'll do our best to not spoil it for anybody. But check it out. It'll be like this is the final 2. This has been 8 weeks worth of games, and it's all kind of culminated in this. So these are, and matches were determined by win rate, and so these are the 2 best players, right? Is that what you say? Or the people with the highest win rate for sure. Regardless, like some incredible players, and so the skill that you will see is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And this is...
So we had 5 rounds of Swiss, where all the matchmaking was done via that. Wow, lots of buzz. Where all the matchmaking was done based off of their prior record, which determined our top 8 in those seeds, and then it was done single elimination playoff style. So this is the finals. These are the final 2 who have earned their spot to compete for the grand prize.
Yeah, that's exciting. Very, very, very exciting. So,
Yeah, so
if anybody
who's
carry on.
interested. So for anyone who's interested in participating in season 3, this season, this is the final week. We're in the finals. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break before we return for season 3, kind of get our ducks in a row. So stay tuned. We'll, of course, make an announcement in the Discord, on Twitter, and whatnot whenever the call comes out for registration for our next season. So stay tuned, and we will be back in full force after that.
Yeah.
Also, stay tuned here tonight and or on YouTube if you're watching afterwards, for the match itself. It's going to be a blast.
Love it.
So that is what's happening in the listener series this week. Hydra, what else is happening in the world of Hearthstone?
Well, we have a little bit of news. First up, we have the Book of Heroes Malfurion has now dropped. This just came the other day. Has anybody here played this yet? Let's see, Nate. Have you played this?
Yeah, it was fun. I really liked it. One of the things that I noticed, I didn't think it was very difficult. Like when I played the Guff one last week, like there was a couple of the boss fights that were like really hard, and this one it wasn't that bad. It was just fun. I just had a good time. And one thing that I noticed, I really liked some of the hero portraits that they used. Like young Malfurion, and they had like Illidan, pre-Demon Hunter Illidan, and the cards that they used, like for Tyrande, the hero or the legend cards or whatever. Like this, the unused artwork is so cool. So I really hope that. I mean, I'm a sucker for cosmetics. I know that's not everybody is, but I love that stuff, and I would love to see it in game sometime. So. Anyways, I had a good time with it. I thought it was pretty fun. I don't know. The decks that they put together were kind of weird, but like overall, I just enjoyed myself. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Sheep, what about you?
Yeah, so I've played through all of it except for the final boss. I did kind of one run through of the final boss right before we started here tonight. So I've kind of started feeling that one out. I didn't win the one that I went through, but I was getting to know my own deck and kind of the play pattern. So I imagine whenever I play it like a couple more times at least, I'll be able to claim victory and earn that druid pack. So the rest of the story, like you were saying, has been really great. The art assets, they recorded all of the voice lines for the emotes and stuff for all of the druid things that you say throughout. Like, let me take that to ladder, please.
Give me more emotes.
I will say every time I hear like Malfurion says wild so often that I always want to like clip the voices and then use them later. I must protect the wild, I am the champion of the wilds. Like, I just want to save all of those and keep them and put a little soundboard together. That's on my like someday to-do list, but there were definitely some unique voice lines in this that were fun. Brian, have you played it yet?
Yeah, I did. I played it, and I had to replay the last two fights like a couple times, but yeah, it was interesting. One thing I noticed though, I didn't notice this before, but like when playing Book of Heroes, there's actually a different soundtrack, like not the usual Hearthstone soundtrack. So like I didn't even notice that. So like next time, like when there's another Book of Heroes, I want to kind of just listen to the music.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, because I didn't even know that Book of Heroes had like special soundtrack. Like, because I just listened to my own like music, like my own Spotify. But
yeah,
so that's kind of cool.
It's interesting.
That's super cool. I saw somebody on one of the Hearthstone subreddits had assembled like the various Hearthstone soundtracks from all the different expansions and adventures and stuff. And I downloaded them, which was really cool, but it stopped at like, I think Descent of Dragons was the last one and there weren't any more recent ones. And I was like, I reached out, I was like, do you have any more recent ones? And the guy responded, it's like, no, I don't, sorry. And I wish that they would make those assets available. Like, dude, I would buy those or put them on iTunes or put them on Amazon or something. Like, that would be kind of fun to get those soundtracks. I would
kind of like how Steam sells the game, and then you can pay a couple bucks more and get the soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be kind of neat.
If you're listening, Hearthstone.
Well, I mean, I have a feeling that the soundtracks are from WoW, like because they sound kind of like from WoW, so they might have just took the soundtrack from WoW. But who knows? Maybe it is a unique soundtrack. That'll be even more awesome.
Interesting. For myself, I played it. I haven't finished it though. So I am at I think the 6th out of 8. This is I think the first time I didn't finish it before the show, because if you guys remember, I was doing it stupidly on all 3 accounts before the show. And so that's done. I'm not doing that on all 3 accounts before the show anymore. Like, that's way too much. And so this week I did 6 out of 8, and I had a lot of fun. One thing, something I noticed though is, and I'm trying to figure out what they want you to do, because when you have to repeat a level, you start with the same opening hand. Right?
Yeah.
So are they trying to tell you, keep these cards? These are the ones you want.
What I noticed is that there's a clear play style intended for each deck, but you often won't know what that is until halfway through the match. Like, a lot of times, like, what is this garbage that they're feeding me? Other times it's super obvious, where they give you a gibberling and like 3 0-cost spells. It's like, oh, I think I know what I need to do.
Or they just give you ramp, and they're like, here's your ramp.
But I noticed that too. Yeah, like I definitely replayed the last one 2 or 3 times, and I don't want to spoil it if you haven't played it yet, but there was a little twist at the end, and I was not expecting it, and had to play through it a couple of times. But
Malfurion's a ghost. He's always been dead.
He was
It was
dead the
all
whole
an
time.
emerald dream.
Somehow,
I see dead people.
somehow Malfurion has returned.
I see golden wisps. I think I did notice that when I repeated it, I was like, why is it giving me the same cards that it gave me last time? Like, because it wants you to play them. But okay.
I think so. I think you're not supposed to throw those away.
Probably not.
I don't want these cards.
Yeah. Well, anyways. We have also this one. So we notice with the book of heroes that they typically will come with alternate hero portraits. And with the book of mercenaries, they do not. And I assume that's just because those are going to be the rewards track portraits.
Yeah, maybe.
So
That's my assumption too, because
we got 3 this time.
Rokara was, and
Yeah.
Zarella. Kurtrus was the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kurt was the other one. So we'll get Guff next time. And
Yes. That'd
Yeah,
be cool.
Guff was
Oh, man.
just so great. I
We
really
better
like
get
that.
Goff. That would be amazing. I
Yeah.
want the funniest, dopiest remarks from him. Hit the concede button. For oops. For oops. That would be best. Bottom right.
What about his WoW emotes?
right. We were talking before the show started. We were talking about The Simpsons for 2 seconds. Guff reminds me of Ralph Wiggum, right? But with a baritone.
The doctor said my nose wouldn't bleed if I kept my finger out of there. Guff Wiggum. I love it. Okay, so up next, we have the Emerald Malfurion bundle. So you can get the nice, amazing new artwork as your hero, and you get 5 Druid packs for $9.99 USD. For myself, I definitely got this. I'm a sucker for all of the skins. I love having them. This one is absolutely gorgeous. Did you guys pick this up? Nate, did you grab this?
The show is called Born to be Whale, after all. The artwork, so Alex Horley is the artist. He did an amazing job. He had posted on Twitter earlier like an animated version of this with music playing in the background and all the flowers and leaves like blowing around. Like this artwork is so good. Like it's just rad, and it's a shame that you can't see it on. Like I love that in client it shows the full like rectangular artwork animated, because in client like the hero portrait is so small, but the picture is just gorgeous, where you see the nightmare on the outside and the emerald dream in the middle, and he's protecting us from the nightmare or whatever it's supposed to be. But it's just gorgeous. It's really cool. And I got 40 dust times 5 packs. So that's okay. The artwork is really why I bought it. So yeah. Sheep, you?
Yeah, I picked it up as well. Like you said, I picked it up specifically for the portrait. I'm probably still going to mostly use Dame Hazelbark, because of course I am. But every now and then I'll throw this one in because it is legitimately amazing and beautiful artwork. So I'll probably, put a good old Malfurion in there a time or two. I had a little bit better luck than you did with the packs. I had like an epic or two, but 5 packs, couple epics. Got an amazing a new hero portrait. That's what I really spent the money for. So
yeah,
I was pretty happy about that.
I'm still waiting for the random hero portrait. Is really what is like it's been singing to me now for like a year.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like
Right?
they need to do it, especially now that I've got like 10 portraits for each class. Like, please, come on. I mean, they
Yeah.
said at BlizzCon, someone asked in the QA and they said they'll do it.
Yeah.
I think now it's just a matter of when. So
Well, and they've been
Anyways.
releasing so many more portraits too. Like
Mhm.
last rewards track had a few of them. This one had significantly more. Like they're definitely giving us the assets to actually roll out and make
Well,
it
yeah.
worth our while to
Well, that
actually
and
have the randomization.
I think that combined with allowing people to buy old ones as well. Because for a while there was all this like, exclusivity, and now that you can buy them or spend gold to get them, like there's an incentive to start collecting them. So, anyways, yeah, Brian, did you get it?
Yeah, I got it. I'm a collector. I mean, we're all whales here.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I want to collect all the portraits, even if I don't use them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I did get the druid packs though, but I'm saving it for next expansion because I already have all the druid cards for this set,
I'm
or the
glad.
standard set.
I'm glad that one of us here is smart. Like
That never crossed my mind.
it didn't even occur to me. Like, right? Because I've got a full set, right? Why open packs when you know you're gonna get duplicates? Like I'm hunting for that like 1 in a million golden legendary, which does not happen very often. And yes, it would have definitely been better off just like not opening these.
Oops.
Yeah, well, that's another reason why I save packs. Like I try to save packs either for the next expansion or when nerfs happen, then I open my packs so I can get a bunch of nerfs cards and dust them.
Ooh.
Nope, that was definitely big brain. I did not think of that. I ended up getting 2 epic cards and 1 was golden, which is pretty cool. So
Yeah, that's
like,
nice.
yeah, definitely worth it. I don't recall which epics they were, but actually, what's funny is both those epics were actually in the same pack too,
Whoa.
Oh, cool.
and the rest of the packs
Wow.
were their, just regular old pack. But yeah, I can't complain. It was good. In the end, when I'm getting these things, I'm paying for the art.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm there.
Have you seen that, that Hearthstone animated cartoon or like the animated gif of the blood elf, and he's like flicking the card and it goes through the air and it goes into the bottle and turns into dust? Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
No.
Oh, I got to
yeah.
find it for you guys. Like that's me every time I open a pack. It's like phew, dust, phew, dust. Like I'll find it for you guys. It's brilliant.
Yeah, let us know. Okay,
Yeah,
well, to be honest, we have not had a lot of news this week, so we're gonna move into some meta discussion. So Nate, do you want to tell us about the new Tempo Storm Wild Meta Snapshot?
Yeah, so we got one. It came out June 22nd, which is 3 days ago, as of the recording of this podcast. Some good friends over at Tempo Storm have been on the show in the past, and they put together a meta snapshot. And so we've got a new one sitting here in tier 1, 3 decks: Dark Lair Warlock, Reno Priest, and Odd Paladin. So this is your post Stealer of Souls meta snapshot here. And it's no surprise to me to see the Reno Priest in the Dark Lair. Having Odd Paladin at tier 1 is I don't know. I've been saying for a long time, I think it was kind of the sleeper. Like, it's just solid. I don't know. I trust the data. I trust the expert opinions. It's definitely a really solid deck if you want to climb. And I don't feel like I'm necessarily qualified to say whether it's tier 1 or not. If it's not tier 1, then it's high tier 2. So I'm comfortable with that judgment call. And then they've got in tier 2 Secret Mage, Pirate Warrior, Mozaki Mage, Odd Rogue, Cute Warlock, Kingsbane Rogue, Big Priest, and Galakron Shaman. So it's a list with more variety than we've seen in the past. I heard people kind of poking fun at it a little bit, like Big Priest in tier 2, Galakron Shaman in tier 2. Like, okay, but I like that the meta has shifted somewhat.
I mean, that's awesome, really.
That's kind of what we want, right? And I will say, yes, Odd Paladin is very consistent. Yes, it has so much refill, and it is very consistent. That it's good. It's good.
I've got a question about this secret mage. I swear I test for Flame Ward every time, and it's never Flame Ward. Are they not running Flame Ward, or is it like one? Like, what is happening?
See, whenever I play aggro druid, they always have.
Oh, they always have it. Oh,
Yeah.
I actually brought as my deck of the week Secret Mage from this list, so I'll talk about it in just a minute. But
okay, good, because I'm confused.
some of the secrets are kind of interchangeable. I remember when nobody was running Ice Block, and now they do. I mean, there's some. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute. But like, anyways, I did see all of the at the bottom of tier 4, Dead Man's Hand Warrior is there, and I saw the cultists get angry. But I hear that I think the legend goes that if you play the deck correctly, you can have a 100% win rate, but it's just very difficult to play the deck correctly. Their Discord for Dead Man's Hand, I think, has more people than ours does, and there's definitely a cult following, and it's funny. I like to kind of poke fun at it, but I've been bodied by it, so I don't want to talk too much trash on it. But yeah, I mean, this whole thing looks very. It definitely looks different than it did a couple weeks ago. I mean, Dark Glare being tier 1, I'm not surprised at all, especially after watching last week after the show. We did a match with Martian Boo and Maxibon, and they both brought Dark Glare Warlock, and it was just it was like the most degenerate games I've ever seen. Like, you can have a stacked board on turn 3, like what? And the deck is consistent as well. So I don't know. You guys have any thoughts on this meta snapshot or any takeaways?
Well, I'm not surprised to see Seeker Mage up there because that was the most common mage deck that I faced. It's very consistent, and I'm not talking about the Reno variation of Seeker Mage. Actually, one thing, like, I think I don't know if it's a hot take, but my supposed hot take for Reno Seeker Mage is that it's a bait because you rather just go for the consistency, just putting it out there. But yeah, that's the one thing I dislike when people like play Reno Secret Mage and say that's good. I just think Secret Mage, like, the 2-ups are just so much better.
Yeah,
that's my take on it.
Especially for that archetype in particular, like having the consistency is really important, I think.
Well, and I think it's a good counter to some of the other meta decks. Flak Mage can wreck the aggro decks, right? So your Odd Paladin or some of your more aggressive decks. The counterspell can be pretty devastating against Big Priest or Priest in general. Ice Block. It does well against Dark Glare because they bring themselves relatively low in health, and then you just hit them in the face with the fireballs or Cloud Princes. And so, I mean, it seems very strong and very consistent for sure.
Yeah,
Well,
and the explosive Verns is like one of the best secrets for Mage, like that's been printed in like a long time. Like it's exactly what that deck would want. Like, you do damage and you get tempo at the same time.
Yeah. And as soon as your opponent, if you're playing the Highlander variant, as soon as they see one of your Highlander cards, they can then look at all of the secrets that you've played and identify which ones you cannot have played going forward. It takes a lot of the advantages that you have whenever you're not running the Highlander variant away.
I really like seeing Odd Rogue in tier 2 on here because that's an old favorite of mine. I would love to give Odd Rogue another spin.
Oh, it's so fun. And there's different ways that you can build it too. I mean, it can be more mid-range or it can be more aggressive. When I remember when I was pushing hard for that 1K Rogue portrait, I think I was using Swagwar's list. Or it was either his or Martian Boo's. They were very
with the sinister strikes and the stealth.
Yeah, they were they were very similar, but it was just super aggressive and like, you just win on turn 3, 4, 5. Like
there Wolf Rider?
Yeah, with the Ward Rider or whatever, and yeah, man, that it was fun though. Like, you just smash face. It's great. I remember, I think it was, Hydra, who do we have on the show? Kareem. When he was on the show, I love the quote from him. He goes, "Hey, sometimes they just want to smash face." That's what I think when I play that deck. It's so fun.
Yeah, Mirak's awesome.
Yeah, he's good people. It was great.
I don't know how cute Warlock gets to be as powerful as it is. I've tried to make it work, and I'm just so bad at it. I'm not saying that it's not powerful. I'm saying I have a hard time learning it to get there.
I had that same conversation with Blue Train, like saying, "Hey, you should try this. It's pretty strong." And I played. I'm like, "This deck is awful. Don't like." He's like, "No, it's really good, and you're probably not playing it right." Like, I just can't get into it. I will say, when Hearthstone's in-client deck builder is supposed to make you the quote-unquote like best deck or whatever, and so I loaded it up the other day and I clicked on Warlock and I just hit complete my deck, and that's what it built, was the cute Warlock. And I was like, wow, okay. That was interesting. I was not expecting that. So that I assume that, and I don't remember. I think this was before the meta snapshot came out, but I was like, wow, I was surprised it didn't make Dark Lair. But it probably has a lower skill cap. I mean,
well, the thing is that because I actually have done the autocomplete, and it actually does make a different deck every time. Like sometimes it makes the same deck. Yeah, like I think there's like maybe like a top 5 that it chooses from, but it makes a different deck every time. Like eventually it'll probably make the same deck again, but it because I tried autocomplete a deck, and then I tried making another one, and it did it like 2 different decks. So.
Interesting. Okay, good to know.
I also really love the fact that Togwaggle Druid made an honorable mention at number 24.
Well, I think the other thing is, and I don't know, my understanding of these lists is that these are not, I don't think they're necessarily listed in any order in the tiers. Like, tier 4, there's 20 through 25. I don't know that they're actually in order of power level. I think that maybe it's just those 6 decks are the tier 4 decks. Like, I don't know that they're listed in any order. I'm not really sure.
I do not know.
I always assumed that the order that they gave in was the, kind of order, and they're, anything that's in tier, for example, 1, is fantastic, but Dark Lair slightly edges the other ones out. But I don't know that for sure either, so I could be mistaken. That was just always kind of my assumption, since they give them numeric values.
That's true. I you know what? If I can find the answer out and get back to you guys. So we know the people who write this.
I was about to say.
I'll report back next week. How about that?
Here, let's ask a simple one question. So in tier 3, the very bottom, we have Odd Demon Hunter, right?
Yeah.
And then at the top, we have Discard Warlock. Which deck do you think is better?
Oh, Discard Warlock is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then under it, Murloc Shaman and Handbuff Paladin, like, those are better. They are.
Yeah.
An aggro druid should be up in bottom of tier 1. I don't know what they're doing with that.
Tier S.
No, bottom of tier 1. Bottom of tier 1. I'm realistic about it. Come on.
Our Mr. Day 1 Legend over here. Yeah. I mean,
that was one time.
That's all you need, just once.
Right?
There you go.
Hey, so this week, speaking of mages, we had something fun this week that we've been hearing about. 6J released their Mozaki Mage guide on HearthstoneDecks.net. And so there was a tweet that came out a couple of days ago. 6J said, "I'm excited to let everyone know that the Mozaki guide is finally out. Huge thanks to NHL Fan and Ben from Work for co-writing, Mattson for editing, and Neon for getting it posted. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions not answered in the guide." And the guide is incredibly thorough. like not only how to play, but also like goes into all the different strategies, all the different matchups. And like, I just cannot say enough. Very, very thorough, very well done. If you're interested in learning how to play Mozaki Mage, I highly recommend it. I'll post the link in chat now, and we'll post the link in the show notes. So yeah, and these are all friends of ours as well, and so it's really fun to see them put something together like this. And I kind of jokingly reached out and said, hey, because 6J says, hey, if you've got any questions, let me know. And so I said, yeah, now that you've written a guide for Mozaki Mage, can you tell me what counters it so that I can play that instead? Because everyone's going to be playing this deck that you wrote a guide for. And 6J responded, like, I actually took it seriously. So, hey, play Secret Mage or Pirate Warrior. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks.
Pro strats.
Right. I meant it mostly as a joke, but I suppose I didn't really phrase it that way. But I appreciate the response regardless. So that was fun. I do think I spent a lot of time with Ben learning how to play the deck, and did some co-op with 6J as well, piloting it. It's not easy, I will say that, but it's incredibly fun. It almost reminds me of that old school style, like Freeze Mage or Exodia Mage, where you combo off, and it's so it's fulfilling when you can do, it's very APM based, so you have to be quick and you have to be able to make some decisions on the fly, and it can be punishing, but overall, like, just really, really fun to play. And so I recommend it. And yeah, definitely some big brain people that worked on that guide. So I recommend it. Have you guys checked it out at all?
I read the whole guide actually, and I approve of it. So you got my endorsement for that guide.
Nice.
Even though but yeah, it's very thoroughly written. Like, I approve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whenever I was climbing with a aggro druid back in the day, Ben from work was always a formidable opponent on his Mozaki Mage. So definitely a fantastic pilot and deck builder specifically with this archetype. Also others, but specifically with this one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's a great guide with some top tier minds behind it as well, who know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I fully trust 6J, NHL fan, and Ben from work, all amazing players. So if you want to learn how to play the deck, this is the way to go for sure.
Yeah,
these people know what they're talking about.
Well, we don't see this type of thing written up that thoroughly that often. I mean, I think the last time we saw something similar was when Bodybuilder put out his guide for Hand Buff Paladin, and that was, I think, along the same lines of how thorough this is. But these types of guides are really few and far between, and so
Labore Sangre, I want to shout out for doing guides as well. He hasn't done one recently, but Labore Sangre,
that's
quite
true.
thorough.
You know what? Yeah, I remember when he and I think he gets bonus points for hitting legend with, like, what he did, Recruit Warrior, right? And then he took basically that weapon rogue and made it a thing in Wild, like non-Kingsbane.
Scimitar.
Yeah, Scimitar, and was just absolutely crushed it. And then he's written some guides. I think they're on Ace Game Guides, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So yeah, for sure. Anyways, so yeah, check it out, you guys who are listening. I highly recommend it. It's a really fun deck to play, and you get that just rewarding feeling when you're able to combo off. It's a lot of fun. Aside from that, talking about ladder a little bit, what we've been playing, I'll start out briefly and just say that I was just wanting to rank up a little bit. Because I've been playing some other things, my rank has been sliding, and so I didn't lose as many ranks as I thought, but I went from about 500 to like the high 600s. And so wanting to get some ranks back, I just pulled the list from the Tempo Storm snapshot. but I've been playing the Reno Priest deck and the Secret Mage deck. And part of it is because I have them in all gold, and part of it is because they're good.
Nice.
But it's good, and it's fun to kind of see the decks change a little bit over time. For a while there, they were not running Ice Block, and now they are. It does well against Mozaki, and this can counter some of the other decks. It's just very consistent. So I don't know that there's anything particularly crazy about this list. I know Oasis Ally has started creeping its way in. I always forget about the new secrets. The new Paladin secrets especially mess me up when you attack into something and I'm expecting the get down guy, the 2/1, and then all of a sudden it turns my thing into a 1/1. Hey, how dare you do that? That I'm old. I've been playing this game for a long time. I'm used to all the old secrets and not the new ones. But so Oasis Ally, oh god, now I got to deal with a 3/6 that freezes.
Yeah.
So I think that I still think that there's some room to maneuver in this list, and Schmoopy Daddy is in chat right now saying -1 Flame Ward, +1 allies. This deck is running no Flame Ward, which is a little scary.
That's what I was getting at, because I tend to run aggressive decks and I'm always testing for Flame Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
And it's never been Flame Ward. And looking at this list, there is absolutely no Flame Wards. So
yeah, I'm gonna add 2 now.
yeah, don't change it. Mess with everybody. I know there's no Flame Ward. I'm not testing for it anymore. Okay.
That's great. Yeah. Well, you always have to attack face to test for rigged fair game because you don't want them to draw 3 cards.
Yeah.
So and if it's Flame Ward, then it tests for both at the same time. So I don't know. I never thought I'd see the day when we only run 1 Occult Conjurer instead of 2, and here we are. So talk about a refined list, and like Brian was saying earlier, I've been playing Secret Mage for so many years. Way back, long before I hit Legend, I was playing suboptimal Secret Mage when half these cards didn't exist, and it was still fun because there's been Secret Mage synergy for years, years and years. So yeah, I just enjoy it. I know people get mad playing it. It's supposed to be the brainless deck, but there's definitely something to be said for the order that you play your cards, choosing when to remove minions and when to switch and start going face. And I think that there's also being careful about which secrets you actually play. Ordering can really be important depending on what they are. For a time there, I think when Stealer of Souls was really running rampant, people started putting Potion of Polymorph in this deck, which was entertaining. But Potion of Polymorph and Explosive Runes work together, and if you turn something into a sheep and then do 6 damage to it versus
Rude.
So anyways, that's what I've been playing. But
wait, by Potion of Polymorph, you meant lamb sauce, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and like you were saying, though, on the flip side, if you have Explosive Runes first, and they play something that has 7 health, it soaks up 6 damage and then gets turned into a sheep. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Anyways, that's me. I see, Sheep, you've been playing some Pirate Warrior. I saw you call the deck Captain Jack Sparrow, and as soon as I see that, I hear the words in my head, the Lonely Island Michael Bolton song.
Yeah.
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. Oh my goodness.
No lies. When I'm playing the deck, I sing the song.
I hope
whether
you do.
it's playing or not.
Giant squid.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, you should check it out.
And it's
That
so
song is
funny because Michael
hilarious.
Bolton, like, to see him do that, because like growing up, Michael Bolton was this weird Fabio-looking, long-haired star guy, and for him to do this was just so funny.
He parodied himself, like.
Yeah.
You really have to be like the better person to do that, because he like, oh god, it's just so funny. It's so funny. Anyways.
Yeah, I had no strong opinions about Michael Bolton before the listening to that song, and now it's all positive.
right.
But yeah, I of course brought Pirate Warrior to continue in my swashbuckling ways. Whenever I'm winding down after a Sea of Thieves session this week, I was definitely slinging some pirates and shooting some ship's cannons into my opponent's face. Sometimes you just want to hit face.
Face is
Face
the
is
place.
Hey, Jinx.
Whoa!
That was great.
Yeah, I'm still like, I'm on the same sort of thing right now. I was running Pirate Warrior last week, and I'm still doing it. It's what I like to do, what I feel comfortable with when I don't have a new exciting thing to play. And I'm trying to look and see if there's much of a difference between this and what I normally run. It's pretty much similar.
Oh, you have Lotheb in this list.
There's Lotheb, and I don't normally have the Dread Corsairs, which actually is pretty nice with Outrider's Axe.
You know what though? Yeah, Hydra, your version was running the guys that create 1/1s when you attack, right? What's it called?
Flybooter?
Sea Shark Fan.
Shark
Right?
Fin fan. It's the Shark Fin fan. Yeah,
Sea
yeah,
Shark. Yeah.
The
Um,
2-mana 2/2, whenever you
yeah,
attack
that's
with
the
your
one.
hero, it poops out a 1/1.
Yeah, that's the one.
That one.
Yeah, because we've got the sky barges and the ship's cannons, and it's a lot of shots to the face.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is a little bit more teched for because I'm basically getting reps in advance of my THL match as well. So it's a little bit more teched for tournament play than it is for ladder play, but I am getting reps on ladder. So
I mean,
that's what Hydra and I've been jamming.
I probably should, because I'm at like 950 with Warrior. And
you're so close.
I just don't like, I don't enjoy the class, but Corrupted Garrosh is like one of the best portraits I've ever seen. It's just so good.
Nate, we should take turns and co-op together, because I'm also around 950.
Oh, 100%. I'm down. Yes, let's do it.
Nice.
I've been neglecting Hearthstone lately anyways. I'm down. I'm fully down for that. All right, well, we got some spicy lists here that Brian,
Some really cool lists.
Yeah. We're going over the even Reno one?
Sure, we can do whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do this first. So even
All
Reno Demon Hunter.
Best deck in the game.
Hey, it runs 2 Ragnaroses, the green variety and the fire variety. Hey, I like that. So what was your inspiration for building this, and how do you play it?
Well, my inspiration for making this was kind of just to poke fun at Blizzard, because like when you have Gen Greymane, it discounts the hero power by 1, right? But
except
except for Demon Hunter, and it does nothing. So I just wanted to poke fun at Blizzard for not making that little adjustment. So that's where I came up with the deck.
Should it cost 0 or what?
I mean, I guess 0. Like, I don't know, maybe that was too broken, but
OP.
yeah. But yeah, the funny thing is that the even Reno Demon Hunter actually does fine against aggro decks. It's just it struggles against combo and control. But
Yeah.
against aggro, it's fine. That's why I'm 2-0 with it.
Hey, you can still say it's 100% win rate. That's great.
Now, have you
Yeah.
gotten any wows when you drop Gen?
No, I get wows at the start of the game, because that's when that's when the animation shows up.
That's great. Rip.
So are there any particular like combos? Like you said, it kind of feasts on aggro. What are some kind of like really something that I wouldn't know just kind of looking at the deck that you're like, oh, this is one of the things that makes it so successful against that archetype?
Oh well, Reno, obviously. Um, but yeah, Reno actually can carry really hard, but also the Demon Hunter cards are really strong. Like and the hero power, like the class itself is designed kind of to be strong, like just with having a 1 mana hero power. So that's why like this deck, even though literally like you have a purposely worse deck for no reason, it still works.
It's kind of like the ultimate BM.
Right?
Yeah. And back in like earlier like variations of that deck, like I once ran Snow Flipper Penguins, and I had a moment where I played Snow Flipper on one and my opponent conceded.
That's
Wow.
incredible.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, I like it. It's I'm jealous here. It looks like I got the screenshot from Sheep. I don't have the what is it? Corvus Blood something or other, the 2 mana legendary. I don't have it in gold yet. What do you have to do to get it in gold? You have to get 500 wins with the class. Is that what it is?
Yeah, 500
think
wins
so.
with Demon Hunter will get it for you.
I'm pretty close.
You'll get there.
I'll get there eventually. Okay. Well, this looks like fun, but let's talk about some mage things since we do have the mage expert with us tonight. Let's the next one up
Yeah.
I've got is this Luna's Pocket Galaxy Reno, and this is spicy. Not only is this a really good list, but yeah, I think this is also fun to play and yeah. Brian, what can you tell us about this?
Well, I mean, Reno, like like Luna's Pocket Galaxy Reno is like my favorite mage archetype, like my favorite type of deck. Um, but I found that this deck in particular it's pretty even, like across the board. Although you kind of need an adaptive play style because there's a lot of different like situations, especially with Potion of Illusion, and Barista. So there's like games, every game plays out differently, which is kind of fun because like you don't want every game to play out the same.
Right.
Yeah, and Pocket just makes things go crazy.
There's I love this because it's super. It's like, I don't know, if you play it right, it's just so strong and it can be really greedy, but it's rewarding. And like barista is I don't know, like when all your stuff costs 1 because of Luna's, barista is like super OP. Brand barista is pretty crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, and the most OP combo I found was like Varden and like copying it and playing it repeatedly, so you keep
Ooh.
freezing the
Oh.
board.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so
gross.
That's awesome.
I played the list back before this new set. I that's when I had played more of it, and I see that we're running Varden now. Are there any other new cards in here?
I'm running Horde Operative now because I ran into a lot of secret mages on ladder lately.
How do you
That
how do you like the
or
Horde Operative as opposed to like Eater of Secrets or one of those?
I like Horde Operative because one, like it's a spider tank in stats,
Mhm.
but also it's kind of good to copy the secrets because they kind of benefit you more than it benefits the opponent. Like for example, Ice Block. Like if you're able to copy an Ice Block, like
Yeah.
that's pretty huge.
I suppose that way you know what their secret is as well.
Yeah, and that too, you get information that way.
Mm-hmm. So how do you play this like to get this Luna, like you don't normally want to pay full cost for Lunas, right? You want to cheat it out. Is this
I wouldn't say cheat it out, more so get it out early because you have Mana Saver to kind of help with that and Dragon Caster.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but the thing is that like if you have a good read on what your opponent is playing, like if they're for sure playing control or even combo, then you would keep Pocket Galaxy because it's that good.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially like one of the things I found really powerful is copying Mutinous against combo and control decks. You just eat their whole hand.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. So that I think that's the other card that is in here. That it's one of the new ones is Mutinous the Destroyer. And yeah. What has been your experience with that card so far?
It's been insane. Like it basically makes me win every control slash combo matchup. Like because like I can repeatedly copy Mutinous or double a Battle Cry with Bran and stuff. It's crazy.
We had a weekly challenge to that effect. It was pretty fun.
Very recently.
I love it. I love that card.
Yeah. Okay. So you were mentioning how do you mana cheat to get Lunas out early? I see we have Escaped Mana Saber, which gives you when it attacks, it gives you 1 extra mana, right? What is the other one?
A Dragon Caster.
Okay. What does that say? Is that the one if you have a
If
dragon in your
you-
hand, then your next spell is 0? Is that right?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, you can also use Dragon Caster to play box early, which is also always going to win the game.
That's
It's
great.
the rules.
I mean, it feels greedy, but it feels fun to me. There's nothing like, I mean, when all your stuff costs 1, and you can Bran Alex, like, and just win, right? Because you take him down to 15 and then hit him for 8 and 8. Is pretty fun. So also running three different versions of Alexstrasza in one deck also is very satisfying, right?
Yeah, it's very fun. I mean, I don't know if it's necessary, but I'm running it for fun.
Hey, that's why we play the game, right? Ideally.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
And they're all gold. Look at that.
This
I
is
feel fortunate to have witnessed this.
if I think this is one of those, like, if you can craft this whole deck in gold, like, this is such a greedy deck in terms of legendaries. Like, this is the true whale deck right here. I love it so much. I do not have it in gold, but I like it.
I have most of it in gold. I'm missing like the older Highlander cards in golden, like OG Reno and Kazakis and Dirty Rat and Barista. And I think that's it. And then everything else is golden.
I was lucky enough myself to actually open Barista in gold out of a pack. And
Nice.
that was such a good one. It really is.
That was a great pull.
I really like this. I'm going to give this deck a spin. It looks really fun. What's your experience with the Amazing Reno so far?
I found it really good against like Big Priest.
Which apparently is tier 2.
Yeah, and also Warlock decks that like resummon stuff. Yeah.
That's
And
as a Warlock main, like, the Amazing Reno is one of my most hated cards. Like, I never plan around it, and I'll make a giant board with N'Zoth, and then make another giant board with Blood Reaver Gul'dan, and have somebody drop the Amazing Reno, and like all my beautiful Death Rattle cards just poof. Well, I would like, it's like that meme of the person like flipping the desk in the computer. Like, that's me.
Oh yeah. Well, here's a little trick. What I find, this is what I do because this is the mage perspective. Like, I actually try to be greedy with the poof. Like, I try to poof as kind of like a emergent, like in case of emergency, break glass button. So like what I would do if I was facing a Reno mage is I'll try to bait the poof and then like kind of like force in the poof and then summon all of your demons and then make the mage cry.
When do you play the Yogg box? That's my other question, because that's like I had always thought of Yogg and Yogg box as like Hail Marys. So what is your take on that?
Actually written a whole well, I written an article a while back about box and Reno Mage.
Ooh.
I can link it in chat if I can find it.
Oh,
But,
that'd be cool.
Just
Yeah.
to sum it up,
Mhm.
basically, obviously, if you have no way to win, you just jam box. But you tend to want to jam box when you're behind on board, and when you have low cards in hand, because box tends to draw cards, and that's basically the most important things. Like,
Mhm.
because box usually ends up being a value card, so you don't
Yeah.
want to full hand while casting it.
That's
So-
I mean that's
so
what
you-
it always
you said-
seemed.
A lot of words that didn't sound like as soon as possible, but I think the real answer is you want to play box as soon as possible, right?
Yeah, I thought I thought you played Dragon
Okay.
Caster and then played box.
I mean, actually, early box is also good because early box is also good because playing a 10 mana card on turn 6 or 5 with coin.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I was memeing, but also turns out accurate.
But that's true. I mean, I think one thing I noticed with Yogg and Yoggbox is that you very often draw lots of cards. So I think that's fair to say.
Like it.
All right, I got one other deck here, and it is Mozaki Mage. Is this the same version that 6J and everyone has been running, or is this a little bit different?
Yeah, that's the one I pulled from the guide.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
But yeah, I played a few games with it for the first time this week.
Mhm.
And it seemed really strong. I mean, because I played some Mozaki / Cyclone type of decks when they were in standard. So that kind of helped me kind of get an easy grasp of it. But it plays very it feels really strong because of Ice Block.
How has it been with the nerf to refreshing spring water? Is it still feel the same?
I think for a while, refreshing spring water, it obviously hurts, but it's not that bad because you have Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Or and Incanter's Flow.
Yeah, I mean, if you can play flow early on, then it doesn't even matter, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I posted the Reno guide in chat. It's old, but a lot of the stuff still holds up.
Oh, awesome! This is great. I'm gonna share this in the show notes as well. So if anyone
Too late.
Oh, you beat me to it. I love it. Okay, so if yeah. If you guys are not watching live and listening after the fact, we'll post the show notes. They'll be both on our website and linked up with this podcast, and the link will be there. So if you want to check out the guide, we'll have the link.
Let's put it this way. You know the achievement that says like gain a certain amount of mana in a turn as a mage? And we were talking about how, you better do that before the nerf to refreshing spring water. Well, guess what? Like, I did not get that before the nerf, and I got it after the nerf.
Wow.
Pretty easily still. So, card's still good.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's if you flow it, it's still Pot of Greed.
Pot
That's
of
true.
Greed and draw 2 cards from my deck.
Yeah.
I crafted a gold Mozaki for this deck, so I enjoy it quite a bit, and I spent a lot of time playing it, and I'm still don't feel like I'm that good at it, but it's so much fun that I just can't stop playing it. Struggled sometimes against aggro. Like if you don't draw the right cards, it can be tricky. If you don't play Incanter's Flow early enough, it can be a little bit tricky.
I mean, that's the nature of the deck. That's the deck you're supposed to lose to.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I found aggro to be the most challenging, but like anytime I get flow and ice block, it just feels like I'm playing solitaire after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always loved like play this into a priest. It's awesome. You play this into like your odd paladin or something like that. It's harder, but a lot of fun. A lot of fun regardless. Highly recommend playing it. It's definitely especially if you're a combo player. It's a lot of fun to pull this off.
Yeah, I recommend checking out the guide. I think it's really good, especially for people who are not like accustomed to that style of deck or mage in general.
Yeah. Well, it takes a little bit of time, and you have to you prioritize your resources. You kind of learn what order to play this stuff in, or when to use it on face versus when to use it on minions and stuff. And no, I think there's definitely a lot of strategy involved with this deck, but lots of fun. All right, fellas. Well, hey, we just hit the 2-hour mark. So anybody have any final thoughts on these decks or any other tidbits of wisdom y'all want to provide before we move on a little bit to our weekly challenge?
I can't wait to jam some even Reno Demon Hunters so that my hero power will cost 1.
By the way, yeah, so we our buddy Keith Numbers, that world famous wild streamer over there, definitely he's known for playing listener decks, and as a fun little assignment, we've sent people off to his stream to get him to play this deck. So assuming we get a report back, we'll include it here. He might ban somebody. It'll be great.
Only time will tell.
Yeah. Okay, so moving right along, we have a weekly challenge each week. We get together and we'll challenge you all, the listeners, to do some fun, funky Hearthstone-related challenge. Whoever wins gets a couple packs gifted on us and gets some street cred as well. So last week's challenge was brought to you by Draco Cat, the Demon Hunter expert, and the challenge for last week was to get the highest attack with your hero in Demon Hunter. And so a couple people I want to shout out here. First up is our runner-up, Jordan MG from the People's Champ podcast. We do have a screenshot on the screen. 34 attack as Demon Hunter, which is just absurd, right? That's OTK right there. I love it. But Jordan is not the winner. It gets bigger than this. So
There's always a bigger fish.
So big shout out to Kenray. Is now winner in back-to-back weeks with 39 attack.
Kenray!
Holy cow, 39.
Damn.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I see 4 copies of Zai the Incredible on the screen, and so I imagine there were many buffs played on this weapon here. But yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, big shout out to Kenry, 39 attack. Good grief, that's incredible. So great work. I will reach out after the show and gift your pack. So good job, congratulations,
Kenray, once again,
yes. So
Kenray, somebody's got to dethrone this person.
I know, right? I need someone else to win next week. I feel like we're financing Kenray's card collection. That's okay, but someone give Kenray a run for their money. Anyways, what is Sheep, what is the challenge for this week?
Yeah, so we were kind of kicking around a few ideas for this week's challenge leading up to the show, as we do. And Brian had an awesome idea about how he really wants to see a lot of work done to refine an even mage list. So what we are kind of instituting for our challenge this week is to make the best, and this is a subjective,
Mhm.
one of the subjective challenges. So make the best even mage list you can. Submit the list in the weekly challenge channel of the Discord. You can use any of the deck list sites if you know have just a code to pop in that. And then if you don't have the cards, you can still participate this week by building the list on the official Play Hearthstone site / deck builder thing. So if you don't have the cards, you can still participate and try and make that best even mage list. And even if you don't have like the initial cards, hey, maybe if you win, you'll be able to crack them in some packs.
Hey, there you go. There you go. So this is a little bit subjective. How will the scoring work? Do we just I guess we get to pick and choose our favorites. I'm looking for some spice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well-
either some spice, or we also, of course, have are going to be collaborating with Brian this week as well, into finding what the kind of most refined or kind of a finely tuned even mage list could be. Brian, is there anything that you might be looking for in said refinement?
I'm just looking forward to more refined lists because I think even mage could be a little bit better. Like the reason why I haven't tried to refine Reno Mage or not Reno even Mage is because I don't have like cards like Frost Giant and a lot of the Grand Tournament cards that like buff hero power stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why I can't do it, and also I just haven't had the time. But yeah, I would really like to see somebody get an even mage to work. I mean, if I can get even Reno Demon Hunter to work, somebody can get even mage to work.
I love it. I love it. And you don't mind looking at the lists that come in to help us pick the winner?
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Love it.
I've like had a total like list right off of Tempo Storm that I'm running that's like top tier, like whatever deck it is. Like say I'm running like Secret Mage, or say I'm running Pirate Warrior, say I'm running like whatever it is, and I've run into a random even mage and they've given me a darn run for my money. Right? Like it has happened where
me
it's
too.
like,
Yeah.
and they're few and far between, but when they happen, like they happen and they can be pretty good, but we don't see it too often. So I think trying to refine this deck and making this a challenge is a really cool idea, because I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great, but I think this could be a really, really fun challenge. Let's see if we can make this viable.
The fun thing about
Absolutely.
off-meta decks is that people don't mulligan properly because they'll be expecting Secret Mage, they're expecting Mozaki or something different, and like, you know, Gen pops off. You're like, oh, wait a minute, what does that do again for Mage? Is that like, and then people don't know how to play around it, right? So it's fun. I'm curious to see what people put together. I may have to hop in on this one too. Not that I don't think I'm even eligible to win, but it would be fun. I've kind of been wanting to goof around with the Hero Power Mage ever since this new set came out, because we've got that new 10 cost that does 10 damage to everything. The guitar,
Yeah, Mordresh.
the guitar hero.
Yeah.
Yes.
So cool.
Yeah, since we had kind of talked about the this challenge before, this morning before work, I was playing around with a Highlander even mage, and you know, it was before work, so I didn't have time for a whole lot of games, but played against a Murloc Shaman and totally wrecked shop.
Nice.
Wildfire on 2 really helped.
Yeah.
It's a Highlander deck, so that's not going to be a
Oh,
consistent phenomenon. But I was not expecting Koldara Drake to do as well as it did, but it really did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
What's
mean, like
the-
on 10 mana, the Koldara does like what? Like if you had Wildfire buff, that's 4 pings. 8
And I
damage.
also had a fallen hero down
Oh.
already that had just barely stuck, and so each one was 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, even more damage.
I love it. I love it.
The 4-mana guy that pings all the minions in the face.
Reckless Apprentice.
Reckless
That's the one.
Apprentice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had one
yeah,
of those buddies in too.
Yeah.
I actually think this might be legit. Like this is pretty spicy. I like it. All right.
Let's do it.
Very cool. I don't know if you mentioned it or not, but the way that you submit your decks for this challenge, you've got to join our Discord. The link to the Discord is it's on our website. The easiest way is to go to borntobewildhs.com. If you click on the Find Us page, there's a direct link to the Discord. For those of you watching, I'll post a quick link in the chat. It's also, the link is in the show notes for anybody listening. Anyways, post your lists in the Discord. There is this channel there called Weekly Challenges, and we will scour the lists from there, and then we will report back next week. A couple of caveats in order to oh, you know what? I guess this week is different. I'm so used to saying, like, you can't play against a friend, you can't play against the innkeeper. Like, no, it doesn't matter, because this week we're looking for deck lists, so I don't care who you protested against.
Yeah.
Challenge.
Yeah, right? But anyways, yes, go forth and build us decks and report back. I'm looking forward to it.
And while we're not going to necessarily go on like win rate or anything like that is not a thing. You could, present us, hey, I won 10 games with this or whatever. Like that's a thing you could do, but that's not going to necessarily mean whether you won or you lost. But that is something you could use to present your case.
Sure.
Deck
Sure.
is good or not. But it's also subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah, and any and all submissions must go into the official Discord channel. So DMs, unfortunately, not really the way to go on this one. So if other people see your secret sauce, they may include that into their own recipe. That is unfortunately a kind of pitfall, a hazard that you will have to make, but that also is the collaborative way of hopefully building the strongest deck that we possibly can.
That's how Hearthstone works, right? You just change one
Yeah.
card and now it's your list.
I was more thinking of the including one card, like the Koldara Drake, right? But I mean,
I
yeah, you're
know.
not wrong.
I was gonna say put in Lotheb. That's a joke. That's odd.
I am still bummed that if you run a quest that Gin doesn't proc, because the way that Gin is read, it says if there are only even cards in your deck. Well, I've got the quest in my hand. It's not in my deck, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It's unfortunate.
Fill out a ticket.
Yeah, the game, that's a bug. That's not working properly.
It's not in my deck. It's in my hand.
The devs have unfortunately confirmed that thing. I tried.
Big sad, big sad. All right, you
I
guys.
shot my shot.
Well, that is about it for the show tonight. Before we go, I do want to say a quick thank you to the patrons of our show. First off, Shokunin, thank you so much for your support. It is always very much appreciated. You are the absolute champ and the executive producer of our show. And also big shout out and thank you to our patrons, Disruptor 108, Claudette G, Daniel B, Wildcard, Aramord, Ben from Work, AJ Gomez, and Number Theory. Thank you all so very much for supporting the show. For those of you out there who are watching the show live or listening to it on a podcast app, and you are interested in supporting the show financially, you can visit our website at borntobewildhs.com. If you click the Find Us page, there is a link to our Patreon with plans as little as $1 a month, and any support that you give there gets put directly into the show. So thank you very much. If you so choose to do that, it is absolutely not required whatsoever, but we do appreciate your help. We also, for those of you who are on Twitch a lot, we do have some emotes that you can unlock if you want to subscribe to us. They're very cute. I like them. They were done by a very talented artist named Christina Oe, and I'm a big fan. Also, big shout out and thank you to Firestone, who has provided us with premium access to their deck tracker. We've had a lot of fun with it. I actually noticed, believe it was yesterday, there was a massive update to the deck tracker with some new features and stuff. So that's pretty cool. If you guys want to check it out, it is free. There is a premium version that costs $2, maybe it's $2.99 a month, that will remove the ads, but the ads are not bad in the first place. So I would encourage people to check it out at firestoneapp.com. Brian, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. It's been an absolute blast, and really appreciate your time and your company. For people who want to follow your content, where can they find you?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can find me on Twitter at BrianMyashiro. If you just search up ATK BrianOBryan, you'll find me. Same goes with my YouTube and my Twitch, which you can also find my Discord there too. Just search up BrianOBryan. It's a very unique name. Hopefully nobody starts making alt accounts or something, but for now it's unique.
Love it. We will put all of your contact info in the show notes and up on our website too. So if people want to find you that way, you can visit our website and we'll have all of Brian's links there. Sheep, where can people find you?
Yeah, I am so glad that we got to hang out with you, Brian, this evening. It was a blast. Thank you very much for joining us. As for me, you can find me around the internet at Electric Sheep City in places where that fits, like Twitch, and at eSheep City at places where Electric Sheep City doesn't fit, like Twitter. That's the internet for me. Hydra, where around this series of tubes can people find you?
The best place that you can find me is on Twitter at Hydralisk_HS. Sometimes you can find me on Twitch, also at Hydralisk_HS. And another really good place is in our Discord. So if you would like to join the Born to Be Wild Discord, please check our website out at borntobewildhs.com, where you can come join our Discord. You can become part of a really great wild community where we have awesome discussions. We've got deck lists. We just have fun with a lot of friends, and co-ops happen, and we just have a great time. So I highly suggest that you come check it out. That's where you can find me at and everybody else in this beautiful crew. Nate Wolf, where can we find you?
Yeah, thank you. I'm pretty active on Twitter. You can find me at NateWolfTCG. It's NateWolfeTCG. More importantly, you can find the show and everything related at borntobewildhs.com. And like Hydra was saying, there are links to all of our stuff. We've got all of our past podcast episodes there, all of our YouTube videos. If you're looking for other wild content creators, one of the things, we really like to support the wild community in general. And so all of the past guests that we've had on the show, all of their links to all of their different social medias and stuff, they're all up on our website. And of course, would second what Hydra said about the Discord. We have an absolute blast hanging out with people, and the links are all there up on the website, which is borntobewildhs.com. Rock and roll. Well, thank you guys for hanging out tonight. It's always a blast, and I look forward to hanging out a little bit more at the conclusion of the show to jump into our Born to Be Wild listener series final match between Corbett and Maxibon. And so, yeah, if you're watching us live, please stay tuned. We'll take a real quick break and jump into that. If you're listening or watching after the fact, check out our YouTube later and we'll have the match there. And aside from that, we will see you all next week on another new episode of Born to Be Wild.
Born to be wild.